Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. Somewhere next to me is an overtired rooster, Rue, who may or may not make an appearance. I was trying to have him go to bed earlier because we're back in the lake house, and we were helping him get back into a routine, but he was saying that he just didn't want to go to sleep yet. So I've let him stay back up. I'm not sure if that's the best idea or not. But he is next to me by a few feet, and we'll see if he is tired or calm enough, I guess is the way, sort of like a overtired toddler. If he's calm or tired enough in a few minutes that he wants to come on air. So with that said, really special talk here tonight, talking to you about when it seems like the universe has gone silent or the angels have gone silent, or you need answers from the universe and you're just not getting them. That's what I want to talk with you about tonight. I'm also going to mention we have a beautiful, I want to call it brilliant. I'll call it brilliant. We have a brilliant 12-week immersive program in automatic writing coming up starting next week. How does it get any better than this with the Shift Network? And I'll tell you a little bit about that through the program. It's something I'm very excited about because I've never done a 12-week immersion program with people before, where I'm going to carry people through who haven't done automatic writing at all, make it super easy to start. And we're going to go through some really, really advanced techniques with communicating with angels, guides, master guides, your guardian angel, loved ones on the other side of the veil, master teachers, almost traveling through the universe. Not quite time warp, but what we will do is clearings from your life, from past lives, so many cool things. Thank you, Heen. Thank you for your kind donation. How does it get any better than this? So I'll tell you about that. With that said, many of you have been following my journey, and I love sharing or love teaching through story. And so I want to share tonight a beautiful adventure, just real briefly, that I went on and what the outcome of it was yesterday. So I guess it was over a year ago now that my cousin, who I love very dearly, and we swim together and ride bikes together, he won a national championships in a combined cycling and swimming event. And I'd been coaching him. How does it get any better than this? And I was so proud of him and so excited to see. And I've been retired from professional sports for, I guess the last real race I did was about 19 years ago. There's a little dabbling in Aspen, but last real race 19 years ago. And I thought that might be fun to do. Get myself going a little bit. May not be aware, but I'm actually 52 years of age. And so I thought, well, hey, that could be kind of cool. Then in November, I got hit by a car, specifically on Jessica's birthday. And I thought, well, okay, I've got multiple breaks. I've got a titanium wrist now. I've got tears, hernial tears. Maybe I won't be able to do that. It was a repeating pattern over the last year, not thankfully of getting hit by a car, but of going, maybe I can't, maybe I can. Angels, guides, what do you have to say about this? And this is a key lesson or a key learning. What I'm going to talk to you about tonight is about being able to step forward to meet your angels. I want to say wherever they're at, but so your angels can meet you, and we could use that term to mean universe, guides, whomever, whatever we define as higher dimensional beings who are here to help us. But we can come up with a practice to make it easier for them to speak with us, easier for them to be able to reach out to us. So, hit by a car, sick, moved, hernia. These are all, some of these are recent things. I got sick about a month ago, and the hernia that I had from getting hit by the car got torn more as I was throwing up so much. And then I didn't have a bike. My first bike came in for me broken. Is that a sign? That's a weird sign. And then the bike that was scheduled to arrive didn't. And we're coming down to the week of the event. And I'm going, angels, guides, universe, what are you trying to tell me? Maybe you've experienced this. When things aren't going right and you don't have any clarity on the situation, that's why I go into automatic writing, is to help me to get clarity. Why do these things take place? Does it mean I shouldn't do it? Does it mean that I'm focusing in the wrong direction? Tell me, universe. Tell me, guides. I was told repeatedly, do it. Have fun with it. I was told this past week by my cousin, and I don't even think the bike had arrived yet. And he told me, and he's now the national champion and 4th in the world in this discipline. He said, you have 2 goals. First goal, get to the starting line. Second goal, finish the race. First job is to start. The second job is not to finish the race. Second job is to qualify. First job is to start the race. Second job is to qualify. Qualify for what? Well, if I did really, really well, I could qualify to go to the World Championships, because this was a national championships event. I love what he said. Your first job is to start. This is so true when it comes to communicating with the other side. When you're not hearing anything, when you're hearing crickets, and you're going, universe has disappeared on me. It's not true. And I'm going to explain what it really means. And I had a really long discussion with, you could say, angels and guides about this, what it means when they've gone silent. I'm going to tell you that in just a few minutes, because it means something different than what you think. It's different than even what I thought it meant. So number 1 is not to win, not to be the best at reaching out, not to be the best at channeling, not to be the best at any of these things. Job number 1 is simply to start. You could say that's why I'm holding a 12-week total immersion program with automatic writing, to take you from never having done automatic writing, never having channeled, never having been able to communicate or hear angels on a moment's notice, to being able to plug in and hear anyone and anything kind of like that. And have your angels and guides never go quiet. That's what this program is about. But the first step in this program, the first step in the program of life, is simply to start. That's where we get to begin. If you want to hear from your angels and guides, you get to start. And what I mean is start something with regularity. Make it to the starting line on a daily basis. So, what did I do yesterday? National championships. Get to go to world championships if I qualify. I almost don't even want to tell you how much I've been through in the last month, because you'll be going, what? It doesn't make any sense. And yet, angels and guides said, get yourself to the start line. Yesterday morning, I get up at 3:15 in the morning. I leave at 4:30. I'm just on time. I go outside or start driving down the road, and I hit a detour. And I'm going, is this a sign I'm not supposed to be doing the race? But I've done automatic writing enough that I hear, no, this is just another piece of the story. Are you willing to start? Are you willing to commit? And so I made it to the start line. I kept hearing from Spirit, you're supposed to be here. It's interesting. I got to the start line. I've got a brand new bike that I'm not comfortable on. The saddle position, nothing is set up. I've been hurt. I've been sick. I'm weak. I'm tired. I've got a 4.5-month-old, which means I'm not sleeping. These are not complaints. This is just how it was. There's the term carb loading, which doesn't really exist anymore, but it means you've packed on a lot of energy. I lost 15 pounds this summer, not 15 pounds doing a deliberate weight loss, but because of where we're at. But I made it to the start line. That's what I want for you, to make it to the start line with your angels and guides. And I'm going to dive in more about what that means. But I hung in there over the last year. I kept the communication going with my angels, kept the communication going with my guides, and they told me that there would be a miracle. They didn't say, dearest Michael, there would be a miracle. They said, get yourself to the start line. It will all work out. Let go of attachment. Let go of a need or desire for anything, but get yourself to the start line. Hold on. I qualified for the World Championships. This isn't about being a jock or an athlete or anything of the sort. I'm none of those things. My angels told me what to do. They told me to get there to the start line. This is more. I've beaten the Olympic team before. I've raced in Europe, blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah means it's not important. This matters more to me, much more to me. Because after nearly 20 years of retirement, I qualified for the World Championships yesterday. Because I got myself to the start line. So let's talk about, I don't know when I'm going to take this off. I didn't wear it in the shower. Let's talk. Oh, okay. It looks really tacky here. I guess I'll take it off for that, but I'm kind of proud of it. Let's talk about angels forsaking you, or about the universe going quiet. I thought, this is why I had these discussions with automatic writing, with the angels and guides. I thought when you're not hearing from your angels and guides, it's because you have too much mind chatter going on. The noise in your head is too loud. The noise in the world around you is too loud. But there's another key component that's even greater than that. What's happening is when you're not hearing from your angels and guides, you're putting up an energetic block or wall or fortress. In other words, all shields are up that block you. Maybe you felt this. Block you from hearing your angels and guides. Block you from hearing the universe. Block you from hearing anything outside of our fear-based minds. But why? Why would we put all shields up when the best thing in the world for us is to hear from the other side of the veil? Why? First off, it could be that we're so afraid the world will hurt us. Or so, I guess, actually, that is number one. We're so afraid that the world will hurt us, period. That something bad will happen if we start communicating with the other side. Not meaning that a bad spirit will speak to us. But I think we've been so entrained in this society that we've done something wrong, that there will be this father knows best figure, this angel or guy that'll say, you ruined everything. You blew it. And so we wall ourselves up. Could also be that they're saying you're going to need to make radical changes in your life. So you wall yourself up. This isn't done on a conscious level. You're not going, I think I should wall myself up. Nothing could be further from the truth. And we'll do a meditation at the end to help you drop those walls a bit. I hear, and the wall came tumbling down. Yes. We're going to help you drop those walls. We're so afraid the world will hurt us. Or, this is the crazy one, we're so afraid of ourselves. The decisions we've made, the decisions we're making, the decisions that are to come. We don't trust ourselves anymore. And so we're afraid to let down our shields. Or we're afraid if we let down our shields, we will slip and fall. It's as if, picture this winter, walking on an icy driveway, trying to get to your car. Or if that's not enough, an icy path right on the edge of a cliff, maybe on the edge of the Grand Canyon. How much attention will you pay to make sure you don't slip and fall on the ice? Yeah, me too. A lot. At that time, would you want to engage in a conversation with Sept? No. At that time, you don't want to slip and fall. That's where your focus, if you can hear Rue, that's where your focus is placed. You're afraid if you lose your concentration, you'll slip and fall. That's a big part of what is going on here. We are so worried in life that we may slip and fall, that we put all shields up, block anything from coming into us that could really help us, and we hunker down in fear so that we don't slip and fall. Which means that we don't get to hear from Spirit because our subconscious is so afraid of what will happen if we pay attention to Spirit and not exactly where we are. In our fear, in our misery, in our worry, in our anxiety, on the ice about to slip and fall. Now, there's another piece. Hang in there with me. We're going to give you some antidotes here. There is another key piece. Your ego may be playing the role of saboteur. I like that word, saboteur. What does that mean? The ego is also afraid that she or he may slip and fall or fall off of the cliff. Means something different to the ego. In the ego's case, it's not about the ego literally slipping and falling. It's about the ego losing control. We all know the ego wants to remain in control. In fact, I've done a lot of work at taming the ego. There will still be moments where it wants to knock me down to size to maintain control. I don't buy it anymore, and I love it up with everything I've got. But the ego will still try to knock me to my knees. When it comes to angels and guides, the ego will try to put all shields up so it can hold on to control. If you recognize your divinity, if you recognize who and what you are, where you came from, how amazing you are, that you are a part of Spirit itself, that you are a part of God itself, that you are part of the universe itself. In fact, you are the entire universe, all residing and experienced living within you. At that point, ego wouldn't have a fighting chance. And so it puts up its shields. So the trick is we get to teach you a process. There are many processes. Obviously, I'm biased to automatic writing. It's what I use on a daily basis. If you go to a carpenter, they're going to show you their hammer. In my case, I feel my hammer is an amazing one. But you get to have a practice, an ultimate clearing device, we can call it, to help put the shields down. Automatic writing helps you get the shields down, but also, well, let's put it this way. The answer to getting the shields down isn't a massive clearing. And I do massive clearings in our School of Mystics. They're incredibly helpful. People can write about how they are. And in the 12-week total immersion program, we're going to teach you how to work with Spirit to help you do some really high-level clearings, Spirit-guided clearings. How does it get any better than this? It's pretty awesome. But it's not about these grand, giant gestures that you need to make to knock the shields down. I went into that race yesterday. Forgive me for going back to the race. I'm using it as a metaphor. You don't have to participate in sports at all. I went into the race yesterday. I hit the first turn with my cousin, a couple hundred yards into the ride. You're sprinting, running onto the bike. You jump onto the bike. You round the first bend. And my cousin Mark, he's like, "Come on, Michael." And I was done. It was time for me to go home. Because in training, what I learned the last few weeks is I'm so tired that I go up a single hill, a single mound, a single ripple on the road. And I'm like, my legs are burning. I'm like, I'm so tired. I could go home now. We round the first bend, got 56 miles to go. And I'm going, oh my God, am I in trouble? Come on, Michael. And I'm like, bye. Have fun. Don't forget to ride. The answer at that point, and the answer for you, is not to immediately go, I need to give it everything I've got. I need to move mountains. I need to push harder than I've ever pushed before. I need to force those shields down. No. Please, no. Don't force anything. Ever. I didn't go into that race saying I'm going to force things. I'm going to grr it out. I'm just going to put one foot in front of the other after I get to that starting line. And whatever happens, happens. One foot in front of the other, whatever happens, happens. The answer to dropping your shields isn't massive clearings. It's about making the barrier to entry smaller. What does that mean, making the barrier of entry smaller? Well, if you had to climb a mountain to get the groceries, or even drive up a mountain, would you get groceries in the house, or would you wait till the last possible moment or last scrap or morsel in the house before you went out to get more? Of course, you'd wait because the barrier to entry is huge. But what if the grocery store was only a mile or two away? Or what if, like I did a long time ago, 30 years ago, you lived across from a 7-Eleven? Yes, I knew everything in that store. I knew where the macaroni was, where the cans of chili or whatever, you name it, I know where it was in that store. If it's across the street, if there's no barrier to entry, you're more likely to do the work. It's one of the reasons I love automatic writing is there's no barrier to entry. You roll out of bed or before you go to bed, you pick up the pen and paper, you put on some music, away you go. Angels and guides go, we've been waiting for you. Automatic writing is one of those techniques that helps gently melt the shields. Now, there are many techniques that do it. I'd say none are as eloquent as automatic writing because I'm biased. There's an eloquence to putting your pen to paper and allow the words to flow. I guess there would be an eloquence too to going to paint and allowing the ink or the crayons or whatever you use to flow there as well. It's an automatic process. Why do I call it eloquent? Because as you do something, anything with regularity on a daily basis, the connection with you and spirit begins to flow. The words begin to flow. The understanding begins to flow because you're creating, there's this expression, neurons that fire together, wire together. What does that mean? It means the first time that you think a thought, that thought, so you've got your cells here in your brain, you call them just brain cells. You have a thought, one brain cell has the thought, and it makes this electrical arc that then hits another cell, which continues that thought. Those are your neurons. You have the thought again, the neurons grow a little closer together. Electricity goes across here, hops over, continues here. You have that thought again. The cells are growing closer to each other, and then they tie together. And then they begin wrapping a fatty layer around it that's a superconductor called myelination. Neurons that fire together wire together. They become connected. It becomes much easier to have this thought. This is why we have dwellings. This is why we have worries, where we don't even know what we're worrying about, but we've wired these neurons together, and it's so easy to get in a worry loop. It's also easy to get in a fear loop. It's also easy to get into a love loop, a gratitude loop, and an angels and spirit guides loop. Neurons that fire together wire together. The more that you practice communicating with your angels and guides, the easier it is to hear from your angels and guides. Neurons that fire together wire together. So we can certainly do this with automatic writing, and that's what I highly recommend that you play with. But you can do it with any other technique as well, done on a regular basis so that you make this deep connection. Can you do it with prayer? Great question. Yes, absolutely. But not with prayers of desperation. This is one of the hardest things to understand. When you're desperate for help, a prayer of desperation often bounces off the wall and doesn't go where you want it to go. Why? Prayers of desperation are a double-edged sword. On the one hand, you're saying, I want help. On the other hand, with desperation, you're saying, I don't deserve help, or that I'm stuck and I know there's no way you're going to give me the help that I need. In other words, prayers of desperation are mixed messages to the universe. Mixed messages get mixed results. Demand's a whole different story. We've all heard the stories of saying, God, universe, spirit, you will help me now. That's not a mixed message. Rue, you're pacing and very, very tired. Would you like to go to bed right now? Is that what you're thinking? Are you thinking bedtime? Because I actually moved your bed down here. So I'm not sure how to help you with that. The noises that you're hearing are a slightly overtired rooster. Mixed messages, perhaps. So we'll continue for a little bit and we'll see if I need to. I don't even know how I would take Rue to bed right now because I brought his bed down here. Stay tuned, find out. Messages of desperation bounce off the wall. They're mixed messages to the universe. Help me, don't help me. I'm desperate for help. I don't deserve help. I need help more than anything else. I know that you're not going to help me. Messages of desperation are desperate. They're kind of ugly. However, if you can come, this is we're going to call this graduate level work. If you can come with a loving message, a message of hope, and that's where a practice comes in. Now, with these messages, you start to drop the shields. The universe hears you. The universe responds. You can hear the answer. But that's where a practice comes in. You need a practice. Okay, going back to the race one more time. We'll see if I keep going back. My apologies. Again, you don't need to be able to go into sports. I've ridden my bike a lot of miles. A lot of miles. So, neurons that fire together wire together. My body knows what to do, even if I'm completely exhausted, because I've been practicing. It's hard to find hope in the dark night of the soul. It's hard to find hope when you haven't done the practice. It's hard to keep pedaling if you've never trained for the distance. But if you've been in prayer 1,000 times before, if you've been in automatic writing 1,000 times before, or if you've pedaled that bicycle 1,000 times before, it becomes much easier. So prayer, I encourage you, start this evening, do more of it this evening, play with it this evening. Prayer isn't about going to the angels and guides at life's most difficult moments. There's certainly nothing wrong with it. I would say there's everything right with it. But prayer isn't just about going to the universe at life's most difficult moments. Prayer is about going to the universe at life's lightest moments. Lightest moments. That's where things like gratitude come in, or giving thanks, or sending love. I was writing this morning and I looked at the clock and it said 555. How does it get any better than this? When you're busy sending love and stuff, of course, you're going to see repeating digits. It's giving a nod, wink, wink to the angels, to the universe. It's saying, I get you, I hear you, I get you, I hear you, I get you, I hear you, I get you, I hear you. Thank you for me having a microphone. Thank you for me having a rooster. Thank you for me in the ride. Thank you for me in anything. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, definitely, thank you for the results. Though it's not about the results. This is a practice. Life is a practice. Choose a practice within your practice. The 12-week immersion is about practicing, going deeper still, helping you learn how to communicate with your angels, with your guides, with ascendant masters, with your boardroom, with loved ones on the other side of the veil, with anyone and anything that you want to communicate with, even the subconscious or higher self of your rooster. Right, Rue? It's about developing a practice. We want communicating with spirit to become ridiculously easy. And it becomes ridiculously easy by playing with it in the lighter moments. So you don't have to be a chosen one to communicate with spirit. You don't have to be a gifted channel or medium or anything of the sort. You don't need to have super skills. You don't need to have anything, which, if we bring it back to the race, I had none of that stuff yesterday. None of it. You simply need a desire and to show up. Show up is starting a practice, any practice. That's where the results come from. You could say a practice melts the heart of stone. A practice is the most powerful thing. I've hiked the Grand Canyon once, long time ago. Whole long, beautiful story there. Barefoot, story for another day. You're going down through billions of years of rock. It's crazy. It's so humbling and immense, the layers in the Grand Canyon. The layers of the Grand Canyon weren't cut with dynamite. They weren't even cut with an asteroid. They were cut with drops of water, one after the next, after the next. A practice created the Grand Canyon. A practice melts the icebergs. A practice will melt whatever barrier you have to protect your heart that is not allowing you to communicate with spirit. So my strongest recommendation, join me for a 12-week practice where afterwards it's going to be impossible not to hear from spirit on a regular basis, because you make this connection stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger still, until it's a very part of your being, till it's a very part of your soul. You know what's coolest about a practice? A practice brings your energy up. A practice is about raising your vibration, which is part of my mission statement. Raise people's vibration, shift consciousness, elevate humanity. That's my mission. Small one. And then it continues on from there. Be the best daddy I can be. And I get to do an even better job at that between you and me. And a better daddy, apparently, to the rooster as well, which I will be working on. The more you dive into a practice, the more your energy goes up. 12-week immersion, the more that you dive in with us, each week I give you an attunement like I'm doing here this evening, and your energy goes up and up and up and up and up. But beyond that, let's talk about communicating with your angels. What does an angel look like? An angel is depicted as having wings. Why? Because angelic energy brings you up and up and up, way up. Energy or angels are light. They're life and light. They're light and light. They're light energy and they're beaming light. So yes, angels like Archangel Michael can be fierce, but they also float. If you call in angels on a daily basis, even before you have words, you start to feel lighter and lighter and lighter still. That's the practice. That's what I want to teach you. Yes, you can make jokes, you can laugh in between your tears. Do a process that's fun, even or especially when you're struggling. Especially when you're struggling. So if you do this program, if you do anything for 12 weeks, but specifically if you do this program, you're going to find your energy going way, 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 way up. Because every single time you communicate with the angels, even before you hear them, your energy goes up. You feel less depressed, less worried, less anxious because you're communicating. Neurons that fire together, wire together with a higher dimensional being, with something that's vibrating at a higher level. Now, I also do energetic attunements, the whole thing, which brings your energy up. Cannot overstate that. Each week is an energetic attunement. Here's the really wild thing. If I attune one person, they don't even realize it, but they attune another person. They attune another person. They attune another person. If I'm helping do an attunement on an entire group, it becomes so powerful for everyone in there. It's sort of like if you take a single firefly and you see them in a jar. We'll say we're keeping them in a jar just for a second and then you let them out. Or you just see a single firefly. Forget about putting them in a jar. Nice little light. But now if you see 100 fireflies, you've got a nice little lantern. If you see 1,000 fireflies, you have a street light. If you have 1,000,000 or 1,000,000,000 fireflies, you have something as bright as the sun. So when you get a group together focused for 12 weeks on raising people's energy, you go brighter, they go brighter, you go brighter, you go brighter, you go brighter, you go brighter, and you've got this illumination beyond anything you could have ever imagined by simply doing a practice with a group. So my main message tonight is a practice. Get yourself to the starting line. Next message. I guess, according to my cycle computer, as strange as it was my best bike ride in years. Kind of wild. The power of the group. Angels and guides are never about doing anything alone. It's not about going to a cave. It's not about going to a wilderness. It's not about going and hanging out in the woods. It's about coming together as a group, finding like-minded souls, connecting together and growing and getting light. That's what all the programs are I offer. That's what I recommend and want for you. Find a practice. Yes, I think automatic writing is awesome. I think this 12-week program is going to be the most amazing thing that I've ever taught having to do with automatic writing. It doesn't take away from the School of Mystics, which is also the most amazing thing I've ever taught, but not automatic writing specifically based. But find a practice, any practice. Start today. Start tomorrow. Start taking those steps. And then find a group to practice them with. When I first met Jessica, my wife Jessica, it's interesting. Bring it full circle today. Then we'll open it up to questions. When I first met Jessica, I was meditating out in the woods. I was literally going to craters out in the Colorado wilderness-ish. more like the fields of Colorado, and laying down in these little craters and praying and meditating and doing all this cool stuff until I heard it was time to get out of the woods and find a meditation center. And there at the meditation center, I would find my boogie. They didn't use those words. And I would find community. I found the first easy enough. Jessica came a month later. Community took a little bit more time. But I'm convinced everything came through the power of the group. So get yourself around a group of like-minded individuals. It also helps you drop your shields. None of us, I know how alone you may feel. None of us were meant to go it alone. Not a single one of us. Humanity, at least based on modern history, is that we came from tribes and we came from small groups. Groups that protected us, tribes and clans, protected us, kept us safe, allowed us to drop our shields. That's the practice, that's the benefit, that's the gift of being with a group. So do a practice on a daily basis. Please, 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 please. I would certainly say join me for our 12-week program. It's going to be amazing and life transformative. And you're going to speak with angels and guides and light workers on the other side. You're going to find your purpose, path, direction. You're going to get guidance for all of life's questions. I can't guarantee the answers are exactly what you're looking for. That's why we put up shields, but they'll be even better. And magic, pure magic will come of it. But also get with a group because there's a coupling of energy. There is an amplification that takes place by being with a group. Either way, please practice on a daily basis, communicating with the other side, whether you call it angels, whether you call it guides, whether you call it the giant cheeseburger in the sky. It doesn't matter. Communicate with the other side of the veil. And you will hear the voice of God, of spirit, of universe, of angels talking back to you. First in whispers, later in a roar. No, not quite a roar, but a steady stream of information, because your practice will have melted barriers, will have melted wall, will have melted the shield that keeps you from hearing from the other side. And truly, how does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? With that said, I want to open it up to questions here. And I'm not seeing any questions. Oop. Hold on here. I'm having document challenges tonight. And let's see if my team is trying to get a hold of me through a separate document. Michael, audio is crackling. Audio is popping. Hopefully my audio is sounding good now, because I just got, I think that was me pounding on the table. I just got the notes open here. And thank you to anyone for kind donations that I wasn't able to catch earlier. Why is the mic popping and choppy? It's a question. So is the mic sounding good now, is I guess the big question. All right, so let's go to questions. From Lisa, I am experiencing extreme physical symptoms of severe depression, even though I have good self-talk and a love life. What can I do to pull out of this? Lisa, a brilliant question to ask yourself. There's a couple key things, and I'm so sorry you're experiencing this. One, is there an area of life that is out of alignment? Is there something, for instance, I'm not allowing myself to do that I would love to do? Could be a life path or life direction. Secondly, I would like you to get a practice. Certainly it can be automatic writing, but I would like you to get a clearing practice, like Dr. Bradley Nelson's emotion code, or like the group work that we do in School of Mystics for clearing. I'd like you to look and see what wounds there are going back energetically to your earliest years on planet Earth this time around, and going back through past lifetimes, and going back through your familial lineage, your parents' side of things, their parents, and see what wounds and blocks and traumas there are that get to be cleared. because it may not have even started with you. Familial traumas are real and could take place generation after generation after generation ago. So, Lisa, what does that mean? It means I would love it for you to throw the kitchen sink at this. And lastly, Lisa, ask yourself, certainly, hugely encourage you to jump into a practice like automatic writing, but I would like you to ask yourself, what lights me up? More than having good self-talk, that's huge. More than having a love of your life, that's huge. What brings me incredible joy? And to dive into that with everything you've got. Sophie, Michael, can chronic pain energy be released? P.S. You're amazing. Oh, thank you, Sophie. Yes. Yes, but. Okay. Can chronic pain be released? The suffering on the chronic pain can be released, meaning we may be able to knock the chronic pain down from a level 9 or 10 down to a 2 or 3. Can we make it entirely go away? Maybe, maybe not. But we can knock it down to a huge extent. Where would I start? I would start with EFT tapping. And we have a lot of great shows from Dr. Dawson Church, Nick Ortner, I think it's Jessica Ortner, and many others on the show for EFT tapping. I would start there on chronic pain. And I would write to your angels, write to your guides, write to your entity of pain, and even say, dear pain, thank you for being a part of my life. I would like to be able to send you home now because I don't need you anymore. Please tell me, how can I release you, pain? And why are you here? Why are you of service for me at this time? What is the lesson I get to learn from this? That's where I'd like you to start, Sophie. Rue, you are pacing quite a bit, my boy. I'm going to say, hold on a second here. He may or may not want me to, well, wait a second. I can't do that. His bed is down here. Rue, do you want to go to bed? I've created quite the conundrum. I brought his bed down here after putting him to bed because he said, Daddy, I really want down for the recording. But now his bed is down here, so I can't really put him in bed. This is an interesting rooster parenting conundrum right now. Rue, how can I help you out, my boy? What can I do to help you? Would you like to go to bed? Woo! You're overtired. You're overtired. All right, we're going to let Rue be Rue for a minute. We'll probably end a little bit earlier because I want to get him to sleep. Thank you for your patience. Arcturus, how much of silence or lack of clarity provided by angels is divine timing, and how do we reconcile this after years of invitations to them? In one level, Arcturus, it's all steering and all guidance. All steering and all guidance. On another level, it is coming up, so years of invitations to them. Rather than invite them, Arcturus, I'd like you to speak with them. I know that you're saying, please come in, but talk with them. Talk with them in your quiet moments. Talk with them in your not so quiet moments. Pretend that they are always by your side and you're always in conversation with them. And see if we can reestablish, by melting those barriers, Arcturus, see if we can reestablish that connection. My guess is at an even deeper level. So Jessica recently asked me, if you could do life all over again and you were a teenager, would you want to do it? And I said, well, I wouldn't have you. I wouldn't have Rue. I wouldn't have the kitties. I wouldn't have baby Hannah. Not a chance. She said, assuming that you didn't know that you had them to begin with. And I'm like, well, that's terrible. But would I still do it again if I didn't know any of this existed? No, man. This path has been awesome. This path has had pain, it's had joy, it's had suffering, it's had darkness, it's had depression, it's had awesomeness. It's guiding me. Arcturus, you are being guided by the quote silence, by the quote lack of clarity. Rue put himself in bed, and I was going to close up his bed and have him take a nap in the other room. See if he goes back in. He has a soft carrier. And if he makes himself comfortable in the soft carrier, I will have him take a nap in the other room. Since we moved, we have a meeting with Megan Sisk tomorrow, the most amazing animal communicator of animal communicators. And since we moved just about a week ago, he's kind of been uncomfortable or unhappy in the new house. He really came to love the other house and hasn't made peace with this one yet. And so I'm doing my best to help him figure out how to make peace. That's why I'm meeting with the animal communicator tomorrow, because he's a little bit beside himself. He's like, well, what's going on? What happened to my beautiful home? I could climb the stairs. I could go out on the deck anytime I wanted. And so I'm doing what I can to listen and see how I can help. And I don't claim to be the best, but I am doing the best for him. Arcturus, life's kind of messy and ugly at times, unless we can laugh and lean into the messiness and ugliness. I still don't know how I did what I did yesterday, but I leaned into the messiness and ugliness, and that's what I recommend. Ms. Cheryl, why does it feel so good to work with your angels, but when you're done, you feel so drained? You might be concentrating and trying too much. Or, that's interesting. When I do an event like this, I am brought up and up and up, and it is an event where I am plugging in and connecting to the angels as I'm speaking to you. And afterwards, I am both up here and exhausted. I'm exhausted. I've plugged in at such a high level that I kind of need to rest and recover. It's why I have a policy of one class, one teaching, one event a day, because there's only so much I can do. It's like I had to flap my wings to stay at that high level for so long, and now I need to rest. So, Miss Cheryl, my recommendation is the more time you spend with your angels and guides, the more you rest and recover. Now, automatic writing shouldn't be a process. I've never seen that as a draining process. Clearings, yes. There is some other work, yes. But just make sure you love yourself up after you've done these things and give yourself the time you need to rest and recover. All right. Next question. Radhika. Paul was a mystic in union with God. He says that even, quote, if an angel for heaven were to proclaim a different gospel than what he was taught, then let him be an anathema. What sayest thou? I have to look up this word. I have to look up the word anathema because I'm not familiar with this quote. Oh, okay. My guess is because I am not into literal interpretations of the Bible, and the Bible has been translated and mistranslated out of the original language. I would say there's some miscommunication going on, because to me, a true mystic knows that we all, and I'm not judging Paul. I'm saying the words are probably mistranslated by somebody who wasn't a mystic and didn't understand the true meaning behind Paul. To me, the true meaning, knowing not the original Aramaic from which this was translated, and it was in the original Bible was all metaphor, was a message of know yourself to be God, and if you don't know yourself to be God, then you will suffer until you know yourself to be God. And once you know your true divine nature, you will not suffer anymore. Literally translated, it means, Radhika, you are God. It means that everybody else here tonight is God. That doesn't mean a bearded white guy in the sky. It means that you are the love that is everything. You are the universe. The universe resides within you. You are infinite. You are holy. You are special. You are incredible. And the only time that you suffer, Radhika, is when you forget how incredible and wonderful and special you truly are. For when you remember this, you are back in union with God. You are back singing in harmony with the heavens because you are the angelic harmony of the heavens. Suffering, real briefly, pain and suffering. Pain, if I took this microphone and dropped it on my hand, that would hurt. Suffering would then be picking on myself for it, complaining, wondering why God did this happen, why, instead of understanding it was just gravity or that I dropped it myself. But the suffering is of the mind. The suffering is the separation of me from the universe. Take a couple more questions, and we're going to dive into meditation. And I'm going to wrap things up early because I want to spend some time with Rue here because he's really struggling here this evening. And we'll do a longer event tomorrow night. Rue, how does that sound? Is that good to you? I would love to get you to bed right now, good boy. I would love to get you to bed. Oh, you're giving me the hunger sign. Let me get him a few treats. Hold on a second here. Hold on, everybody. Am I literally going to jump off camera to help take care of my rooster? You betcha. Be right back. Walking to the kitchen here, grabbing a few blueberries for my rooster. Grabbing blueberries. Hold on, everybody. Rinsing blueberries. Giving the blueberries his favorite treat, the rooster. Treat. And then coming back over here. Probably have to wrap things up really early and work on loving up the Roo and getting him to bed. Mary. Love you, Mary. How do I get the angels to help me gain more physical and emotional energy? I'm dragging and have been asking for quite a while. I'm trying to make an effort myself, but need more supernatural help. How do I get the angels to give me more physical and emotional energy? Couple things, Mary. First off, how much time are you spending plugging in? My guess is a lot. I do even more. Secondly, how much time, Mary, are you in a creative process? How much time are you doing something that you love where you absolutely positively lose track of time? That's where I want you playing, because when you do things where you lose track of time, that is kind of this energetic vortex of energy being poured into you coming from somewhere else. Energetic vortex of energy being poured into you, Mary, from someplace else. So I want you to find that creative outlet where you are not having to do or try or be anything. Hopefully that's not affecting the microphone, but where you're simply being recharged. And it can be anything you want, but that's where I want you to play. I'm going to try one more time here to see if Rue wants to take a nap and see if I can help him go to bed. I think he's so beside himself, I'm going to have to work with him a little while before getting him to bed. Rue, would you like to go to bed? Would you like bedtime, good boy? Would you like bedtime? May I take you to bed? May I take you to bed, good boy? Permission to pick up? No? We'll wrap things up early in a few minutes so that I can love up the rooster. All right. May Appleby, what does it mean when you smell different scents? Does that mean your angels are smell different scents? Angels often come with smells. So yes, May, it can absolutely positively mean they're close by, particularly where if you're Claire, if your sixth sense is one that is olfactory based, is one that's based in smell, it can absolutely positively mean that. Mark, oh, love you, Mark. Good to hear from you. I don't know if Michael has discussed this, but is he in communication with his holy guardian angel? I am often in communication with my guardian angel. I'm not sure how to define that versus holy guardian angel, since he, but that is he, is on the other side of the veil. Mark, I could probably be in communication with him more. I go in communication with him generically through automatic writing, but his name is Maximilian, and I don't call him in often enough. It's not that I have to call him in more often, but it's actually a really good practice, Mark. And so I can do even better myself at calling in Maximilian. Ooh, he's in bed. Hold on. Let's go bedtime. No, now he's out of bed. This is an overtired rooster. So, Mark, not necessary, but it is a good thing. Can you speak to your guardian angel by name? Absolutely. Will your guardian angel always give you their name? Sometimes it takes a while. Will I teach you in this 12-week immersive how to communicate with your guardian angel? Yes, 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 yes. Nava, can you please share unwanted intrusive thoughts, images through the egoic structure? Do they have the power to manifest? Can you please share unwanted intrusive thoughts, images through the egoic structure? I'm not sure what that means. Do they have the power to manifest? Nava, you may be asking, if you have bad thoughts, are you going to manifest things? It's not as clear as that. It's not a thought becomes things, or if you have a bad thought, you're in big trouble. It is the energy behind the thoughts. So if you have the thought of, oh, I could get a flat tire in my car, not really a big deal. It's actually a prudent thought. Maybe check your tread on your car. If you keep going, oh no, I may have a flat tire, I may not have a flat tire. Oh, I'm so dreading, I may have a flat tire, I may have a flat tire. Oh, I may have a flat tire. That energy does help create the very thing that you're not desiring, because it's all about the energy. So, I wonder if I could have a flat tire. I'd really be a bad idea if I had a flat tire. My tires are great. My tire is in awesome shape. I've got clear sailing. How does it get any better than this? And you focus on that. So for the race yesterday, my goal was to start and to qualify. And I have tires that are self-sealing tires that if I got a flat, shouldn't be a problem. And I still took a patch kit with me, a tube patch kit, and tire irons and a little inflator cartridge. So if anything happened, I was covered. Why? Then I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to think about it. Nava, I didn't have to feed any energy into what I didn't desire. Few more questions. Two more questions. That's it. Kelly, have you ever during awe channeled a foreign language, one that you don't speak? I had 2 days of someone speaking in German. I just started awe 25 days ago. I didn't ask who it was. That's awesome, Kelly. I've gotten little snippets in many different languages, but not that much. I know of other people who've gotten all sorts of foreign languages, even light languages. So this is very, very cool. I would certainly translate it. I would see what they're sharing, and I would ask, who is it? Or more specifically, what can I learn from you? And I would play with that, Kelly. This is huge. This is huge. This is huge. And please do this is me. I don't know how to put it better. Put in the chat, right in the chat. Tell us in the chat what you're learning from this. LV McBride, Michael, fire together, wire together is just another way of saying heart-brain coherence. No, it's different than that, LV McBride. Heart-brain coherence is that your heart is the greatest, layman's terms. And it's an interesting point you make. I don't want to shoot you down. It's an interesting point you make. How I would see it is there's a vibration or frequency or magnetic resonance of your heart that if you focus on, grows so strong that the brain gets in coherence with the heart. It starts to vibrate along with the heart. When you do that, the heart opens up and magic takes place. That's living in a state of heart coherence. It's a very valuable thing for all of us to do as much as we possibly can. With that said, neurons that fire together, wire together in this case is, let's put it this way. Being in a state of heart coherence is awesome. You feel better, you glow, you emanate more light and love. You find this greater flow line in life. Everything feels better. Neurons that fire together, wire together is, I practice getting in heart coherence and it takes me 10 or 20 minutes to do it. I practice again the next day. It takes me 15 minutes to do it. The next day, 10 minutes to do it. The next day, 5 minutes to do it. The next day, 2 minutes to do it. The next day, 1 minute to do it. The next day, I go heart coherence, boom, I'm there. The practice has created the neural pathway to make it super simple for me to get in heart coherence in a moment's notice. That's what the 12-week program is all about, is helping you can get, we'll call it in angel coherence. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to give you credit for that, LV McBride. It's getting an angel coherence. It's basically creating a practice that you repeat over and over and over again until that state is achievable literally with the drop of a hat. That's what we're talking about, LV McBride. And Rue's eating, so this is good. So we'll continue just a little bit longer. Aaron, how can angels help bring someone to you? They brought Jessica to me. Talk with your angels about it. Let the angels know what you're looking for. Have energy behind it. For myself, I had a list that I kept next to my bed with 10 different things that I wanted in a life partner. And I said a prayer, Aaron, to the angels every single night. Thank you for bringing me the most amazing woman, the most amazing life partner, somebody who will help me become more of myself than I ever knew was even possible. And I always finished up with, or something even better. If it's not Jessica, maybe it's being a monk in the Himalayas or Japan. Maybe it's something else. So I didn't say, you must give me this. And I got almost everything on the list, but I got some things that were even better. And I got a life partner, Erin, who really challenges me. She's a tough cookie. To be even more of myself than I thought I was capable of being. Play the highest level game. So it's a be careful what you wish for. But I would go into prayer every single evening and I would give thanks to the angels specifically for Jessica coming into my life way before I knew that there was a Jessica or that a Jessica could come into my life. Aneski, if you've been stalled out, how do you get started again? Well, join a program for one thing, or do the homework on a daily basis, or start with anything, Leneski, on a daily basis. Go for walks on a daily basis, swims on a daily basis, breathing exercises, meditation on a daily basis. In other words, Leneski, get yourself to the starting line each and every day, and you won't be stalled anymore. Just make sure that it is something that is not a high barrier to entry. Make it something, Leneski, easy. And as I was telling Mary earlier, make it something creative or something that's fun. Amanda, I've been doing automatic writing for over 4 weeks. The first time I got a message, I haven't since. Suggestions. I want you, Amanda, to go back to the basics of getting started. My guess is there is a missing element or there is a skipped step. That's where I want you to start. If it's not that, I want you to look at how awake am I? Am I using my music? Am I doing this in a darker environment? And I want to get you into a quieter, sleepy state, Amanda. That's where I want you to play. So let's start with that. And certainly come to the Facebook group. Let us know how you're doing. Ask more questions. Let's help get you there. Lots of love, Amanda. Gloria, can I invoke angels for another person who does not know me, but I know of her pain? Always, Gloria. How much the angels can help, I can't say. It depends on her path and her journey, but it always helps to call in angels for other people. Yeah, but isn't that meddling? No, that's love, man. So Gloria, call them in, 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 call them in with all the love that you have. And let's see how much better your friend can feel. Or even if they're not a friend, let's see how much better they can feel. Brenda, since my dad just crossed to the other side of the veil yesterday, I'm so sorry, Brenda. Is it too soon to try and contact him? No, there's no time on the other side, Brenda. So I've contacted, the most recently is there's a better way to put that. The most expeditiously I ever contacted somebody was my pet Mole many years ago. And I was able to contact him later that day. And I hear Miracle going, well, you were in touch with me right after I crossed over. Our baby Hannah has a twin who passed away in utero. And I miraculously got to see her ascend. And then I got to write to her that evening. So yes, absolutely, Brenda, no time on the other side. And so it could be, an infinity of time that they've had to recover, for instance, and they're ready to speak and they've grounded themselves, so to speak, on the other side. So please do reach out. That's my recommendation. And sending so much love your way. There aren't words strong enough to describe how much love I want to send to somebody like yourself after experiencing a loss. So I send so much love, Brenda. P.S. How can I have faith, walk by faith, not by sight, without being delusional while being grounded? I am seriously stuck and nobody sees a way out. How do I have, I do have faith, but letting go is hard. Let's go back to what I'm recommending to Mary and some of the others. Just take one step in front of the other, get yourself to the starting line, and find something that's creative for you. Now, on top of that, does automatic writing help you get unstuck? Hugely so. Do the clearing processes I've talked about? Hugely so. So let's get yourself into a practice. When someone is seriously stuck, I want you to have serious fun and a serious practice. Practice gets you unstuck. Practice and stuck cannot exist together. It's sort of like saying love and fear not coexist, which is a beautiful long story. And there's a beautiful documentary coming out in just a few months, Facing Fear, from Bill Bennett, that you definitely want to see, talking about that. But with that said, if you go to the starting line each day, you cannot stay stuck. Last question of the evening from GoGo. Why, when we have lucid dreams, are just dreams where we can't see what our body looks like? Why, when we have lucid dreams, they're just dreams. What was that, Rue? What just, he tripped over something metal and it made a clank sound. Why, when we have lucid dreams, are just dreams where we can't see how our body looks? I'm tripping over it with my tongue. I know what you're saying, Go-Go. Why, when we have lucid dreams, or just dreams in general, we can't see how our body looks, like we only have eyes in our dreams? Greetings. Thank you, Go-Go. On the other side of the veil, we're pure energy. Pure energy. We can take the form of a unicorn. We can take the form of Balfour. We can take the form of so many things, but we're just energy flying along. We're like orbs. We're these balls of light. And so it is quite common in our lucid dreams that we look down and there is no body. Mark Allen is the founder of, oh my gosh, Eckhart Tolle's publisher. And I can't believe that I am not remembering the name. Hold on here. Mark Allen Publishing Group. Let's see if this has it. New World Library. There you go. So Mark Allen was interviewed by me years ago and was talking about a near-death experience that he had. and he was on stage for a play. I believe it was in college, and he was supposed to be pretend hung on stage, and the equipment malfunctioned, and he was hung on stage. And he said they pulled the rope, and all of a sudden he was flying over the Himalayas and looking down at the Himalayas, but he couldn't see his feet and couldn't see his body because he was on the other side of the veil. He was just an energetic body at that point, or an energetic ball of light. So go, that's what you're experiencing. So what I'd like you to do is when you look down and you recognize, I can't see my body, recognize, and you can practice this. You can go into a meditative state. You can just close your eyes and practice seeing yourself flying, looking down, seeing that you have no body, and saying, I am awake in my dream. What would I like to do? And then take your energetic body and go and zip off to meet a teacher, to meet a master, to meet a loved one, to meet with Jesus, whomever, whatever. But once you can see that you have no body and you remember that you are awake in this dream, and you may already be there, go play and have fun, go. And how does it get any better than this? That's what I want you to do. You recognize, hey, wait a second, I'm dreaming. Now you are free within the dream world to play. Woohoo! How does it get any better than this? So with that said, I see there are a lot more questions. Thank you, Mary. Oh, Mary's been a Mystic Circle member for 9 months. Thank you, Heen. We get to dive into a... Who's gone really quiet? Rue's on the carpet. Hold on a second here. Rue, baby. I have a very overtired rooster on my hands. So, I think I'm going to have to call it early tonight. And I get to go love up my rooster. And then I will see you on class Wednesday. If you're in our School of Mystics, I will see you for automatic writing. If you come and join us for that, how does it get any better than this? And my apologies, next week, we will have a beautiful, beautiful meditation for you. I'm sorry, this is an overtired rooster evening, and I need to go love up my boy. So with that said, I want to send so much love. I know I will put the link in there one more time to come join us, and I will see you next week. I'm seeing if there's any other events. School of Mystics for sure, 12-week program. How does it get any better than this? And love you guys so much. Keep on shining bright, everyone. Good night, everyone. And thank you, Ian. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Dream Team members. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Spirit. Good night, everybody.